It's gonna ask for your permission to record. So,
Yep, I got it.
all right, thank you. There you go. Now it's allowing you to record. So anyway, so yeah, I was there last week to talk to John and John about how solar is booming in Washington and how we can capitalize on it before it gets so saturated. So our install partner there is Nationwide Solar, and they're the biggest, and they're the ones with the best warranty that they offer. So solar basically is a 25-year warranty with our installers right now. Now, the way we make money on solar is not on the sale, it's on the install. So we can sell as many as we can, but then if they don't get installed, then we don't make money, just like selling real estate, right? So when we sell real estate, the money's in the closing. So once we close a solar deal, we want to make sure that we make it all the way to install. And the average install right now in Washington is anywhere from 30 to 45 days. Now, solar is for sure money that you're going to get paid on. And when I said that it is a for sure thing, then it's not just about like, yeah, a hearsay. We're actually like, there's living proof that solar has made me quit my job as a teacher, and now I'm doing it full time as a solar advisor. So just kind of like to say it out there. As a teacher, I was only getting paid like $86,000 a year, and that's with a doctorate in education. But with solar, you can earn that in 3 months if you just work hard and capitalize on your network. So, I wouldn't quit my job because it's very stable. We got 3 months off and vacation paid. But, when you look at the pros and cons on solar, do I want to do this full time? At first, I was really not sure because I don't want to leave a job that pays me constantly and pays me medical and all the benefits therein. So, it was like, I'm not asking you to quit your job. You can still do what you want, or you can still do your day job. And then at the side, whenever you meet people, you kind of just pitch on solar. So this training will just be about um, kind of like trying to learn the pitch on how you can inch your way into a neighborhood or into people that you already meet. So the first thing about solar is that they have to be homeowners, right? So how many of you already know people that are homeowners? Pretty
A
much,
bunch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that John owns a U-Haul dealership, and so you guys already have met people that are homeowners because they moved to a house, right? And they moved to um, bigger homes. And then if you ever see those kind of people, you say, you know what? Maybe they would want to go solar. So let's just kind of like capitalize on how we can sell solar to people that we meet. Now, before I proceed any further, let me just unshare this for now. Does anybody have any questions first before I go in deep into the solar language?
No.
Thanks, Chris. So, John, I gather you've already kind of like talked to them about solar briefly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, solar. We have about here in Nevada, we're so lucky because we have about 320 days of sun. But in Washington, or where you guys are specifically, you do have a lot of gloomy days. You have a lot of rainy days, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to produce any solar. Because when I was driving through Vashon Island, there's more solar than I could count because that island is pretty, I don't know why they already have solar there. I mean, it's pretty remote, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, but they already have solar that they've got ground mounts, they've got solar in churches, they've got solar in establishments. So, it's just a matter of time when everybody's going to catch on to that. And before that happens, before the saturation happens in Washington, we want to make sure that we hit that part right there where it's still a hot market but not saturated. So I'm going to go back to my slides, and we're going to talk about, oops, sorry, it's not, I'm on the tax credit already. Okay, so, I created our company under Sun Solar Life, but we're considering ourselves as advisors. We connect with solar pros all over the nation. And again, we already talked about my partners there in Washington. So there are only very few places that we cannot do solar. That would be Alaska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Hawaii. So we're mostly live in a lot of states right now, and I just opened those markets up because we partnered with install companies all over the nation. So we're a solar brokerage. We are not just limited to where your geographical location is. So you can sell solar pretty much in any place that you know people in. And so the best part of being in solar is that you could bring in people and then you can have an override on them. So I'm gonna explain to you the structure when you bring in people and that you're able to grow your team and have, I would say, like partly financial freedom because that would allow you to earn a lot of money doing solar. Okay, so why is the solar market hot? It protects customers from rising electric cost. There's a government tax credit of 30%. It just keeps changing. And now there are state incentives as well. When I say state incentive, that's like net metering, right? So when you have excess power, you can import that, you can export that back to the grid, and some other states will actually pay you for what you've exported back. In Seattle, you just have net metering where if you overproduce, you bank it to your grid, and then you use that during the days that you don't have enough sun, like in the winter you guys only have like 4.5 hours of sun and you can't have a lot of solar production. So by that time, when you've banked enough credit during the summer, you just pull from it so you don't have to pay retail prices for the electric that you're going to be using. um, it increases your home value, it's environmentally friendly, it eliminates carbon emissions, and then it's a renewable source of energy, and you achieve energy independence. So you basically can control your budget for the month because it's a flat, locked in rate, and it won't fluctuate just like our gas prices right now. So our gas prices went from $2 to $5 right now. So the way you would pitch it is that if you want to lock in your rate right now, then you should go solar because nobody predicted that our gas prices was going to go up to $5.50 today when last year during this time it was only $2. Now solar is like that. If I can lock in your rate right now to protect you from inflation and from rising electric costs, wouldn't you have done that like today instead of like looking back next year and say, man, I should have gone solar last year when the interest rates were lower? Because every day, as I've noticed, and interest rates are going up like every day as I check mortgage rates. And then solar financing, of course, will go up because we have finance companies that finance our solar system. And then, when you tell people like, how do you guys make money when it's zero installation cost, zero out of pocket, nothing comes out of the homeowner's pocket? Like, how do you guys as sales rep make money? And that, yeah, we don't make money in the install. We make money from the commissions because we're connecting you with the right finance companies. So just like being a realtor, you are actually getting paid on commissions from the lenders as well. So that's how we would explain how we make money. Like, so now that's a scam because if you are not paying anything for installation, nothing out of pocket, like how do you guys as reps make money? And you just say, man, we're just like realtors, we're like mortgage lenders. We make money out of the finance company that finance the solar system. So say how to get leads. We will do organic leads, family, friends, co-workers, relatives, friends, your club, your church, referrals, word of mouth, and then social media marketing is, if you're big on it, you can capitalize on it as well. Facebook ads, really expensive. I don't recommend it unless you have a ton of capital because we did that. We spent over $30,000 in marketing in Facebook, but it does come back to us because, like I said, you can earn anywhere from like 80,000 to $150,000 when you run ads. That's per month, and sell solar. So 80,000 is a good return on investment if you spend 30,000, right? So you spent 30, you earn 80, so that's like a $50,000 um, uh, return on your investment still. So again, it depends on how good your marketing strategy is. I hire people to market because I don't have time to mess with lead generation stuff. Then digital marketing. So if you are really good at that as well, you post every time you do something, and people start wondering, what are you guys doing right now? What do you do? Like, oh, I'm a solar advisor. I'm a solar rep. I work with Sun Solar Life, and then it's like, oh wow, so you know about solar. So the more people know about what you do, the more they're going to gravitate towards you, and then you can ask them for referrals as well, and then you can ask them to be a rep, and then that would be your how do you call it, your downline. It's not an MLM, it's just an override, for one person over you, so you get an override on whatever they sell. Networking events, if you're outgoing, if you like being in public. I don't like being in public. I'm a hermit, so I'm forced to network because of the fact that it does give you business when you're out there talking to people. Like I said, it's one of the biggest markets we have because it's word of mouth, and then the more they see you, the more they know that you're a real person. You're not just a lead generator or a marketer, and then they trust you more once they see you and you're all about what you do. Flyers, brochures, cards, mailers. We've tried that one. They don't really work that well as network marketing and social media marketing. So those are the two things, and family, friends, coworkers. Those are the marketing strategies that we have that have given us a lot of returns. Now we have door knockers as well. We have people that would knock on doors and pitch about solar. I'm not a door knocker, so I don't really know how to pitch that on the doors. So, but my husband, he's actually sitting right here. He is a door knocker, and he knocked doors throughout the summer here in Las Vegas. He's from Alaska, by the way. He was a truck driver, knocked doors. He didn't earn anything for the first 2 months, but when he got really good at it, he was averaging anywhere from like $40 to $60,000 a month, and then his best month was about $180,000 just knocking doors. Like, it's he had grit, and then it was really really hot. Like if you're from Alaska, negative weather to like 120-degree weather here in Vegas, that's like you have to have the proper mindset to be knocking doors. I mean, I'm not expecting everyone to knock doors, but he got it that way, and he's good at that. That's where his strong suit is. My strong suit is in networking, digital marketing, and Facebook marketing, and just kind of like referrals. Then I'll stick with that. Everyone has their own strength. So that's how you would try to get your leads when it comes to solar. And then, when I say Facebook ads, I don't recommend that. It's too expensive. Benefits of solar. Oops. I don't know what happened. Here we go. So when we talk to a homeowner, we just tell them, what are the benefits of solar? That way you definitely own your energy. It's like when you're renting your house, nothing goes back to you but the enjoyment of living in a house because it is a necessity. Power is a necessity. Without power, we can't survive, right? But here, if you go solar, you own your energy. You're not renting it anymore. You actually gain equity the more you pay in towards your solar panels because that's your ownership. You own those panels. So whenever you sell your house, you could actually add that cost of the panels when you transfer that over to the new homeowner. So that's the benefits of solar. That's one. Another is you're using clean energy. So for hundreds of years, we've been brainwashed with fossil fuels, and going with the electric company is the only way to go. But with the rise of the new age revolution, more and more electric vehicles are being produced due to our awareness of pollution and taking care of our environment. Why use fossil fuel and dirty energy when we can use clean renewable energy? Washington is going green for some reason. I was at Walgreens and I couldn't even get plastic bags. I was asked to just, like, do you want a bag? I said, yeah, I was expecting a plastic bag so I can carry it while I cross the street. But they gave me a paper bag, so I was like, hold it like a baby. But anyway, I'm not sure if you're if you're seeing that, but that's what I've noticed when I went to Washington, and they got like what's this called? Paper straws, which kind of like disintegrate in your water. So here in Vegas, we're still, we have a lot of solar, but we're not that green. But I've noticed the pattern in California, mostly towards the West Coast. They're going green, and they're doing all that they can to kind of protect the environment. So this is something, if somebody is into the whole green energy movement, you can pitch it that way as well. And then it's added equity to your home. So solar adds equity to your home by adding anywhere from like $20,000 up to $40,000 when you sell the house with the solar panels. Okay, and then right here this is probably the best graph that I would ever show to my customers. Your electric bills is just gonna keep going up. It's just gonna keep going up. They're not gonna stop anytime soon. That is a necessity, and you will always pay that until the day you die. But with solar, you have a payoff date. If you want to pay it off by year 10, you can pay it off. If you want to pay it off in year 20, you can pay it off. And it's pretty much predictable and it's a flat rate. So this is a graph that I would show to my customers. Like this is going to be, oh, that's my husband. He fell asleep on my massage chair. So and then yeah, so this is a graph that's like it explains everything. Your power bill is gonna keep going up, but with solar, you'll have one flat rate. Okay, and then how to qualify for solar. You must be a homeowner. It has to be either a single family home or a townhome that's side by side. You should have they should have a credit score of 650 or better, but we can be as low as 600, but it's got a higher interest rate. I don't like selling that way. So we would send them to like a credit repair person to repair their credit so that they could avail of the lower rates, which is 2.99, 3.99, instead of like 7.99. It's just, I think it's outrageous to get a 7.99 interest rates to go solar because you won't see the savings. No bankruptcy in the last 3 years or bankruptcy has been discharged. The roof must be viable and sturdy to hold the panels. So, the other John, he's going to be watching this training, but he is a roofer as well. So we're getting into the part where whenever we need a roof, he's going to get a roof quote, and the finance company would also finance the roof because we can't put solar if there's no viable roof. So the whole package becomes tax deductible because the roof is needed for the solar to cling onto. So, that's a plus for him because he's a roofer. And then we put solar so that he's getting the double benefit of selling solar to his homeowner because solar is also an added protection to your roof. That's a first layer that would absorb any factors of the environment like hail, storm, and everything. Um, we have to consider the shading of the house. What I've noticed in Washington is a lot of trees. So if a house has a lot of trees, either A, they're willing to trim it or chop some of them off, but it's not environmentally friendly for me. But if they want solar, then they'll be willing to kind of like just trim the tree. It's not going to kill the tree, it's just going to chop off a little bit of it. And that's another business that somebody could get into, tree trimming. I know someone who has a business in tree trimming, and then whenever we want to go solar, we call this person and say, hey, can you trim the tree because this customer wants to go solar. We're going to pay you to trim the tree for this customer because they're going solar. So again, there's an option, there's a avenue that you can actually get into because pretty much Seattle has a lot of trees, I've noticed. You must be with a utility company that supports solar. Most of the utility company now supports solar. Only very few, like in Texas, because they're deregulated and they have cooperatives as well. They have a lot of small power companies and they don't support solar, so it doesn't make sense to go solar at all. And I will not sell there because they won't even show any savings. And then must be in states that we install. Again, the only states we don't install is Alaska, Hawaii, South Dakota, North Dakota, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Those are the only states we don't install anymore. All right, so let's see. So there's no upfront cost to go solar. There's absolutely nothing out of pocket when homeowners switch to solar using our financing. The only qualification is just a credit score and a good name, and homeowners can switch to solar just like that. It takes about 3 minutes to pre-qualify them. We just put their information, their date of birth, their social security, and we would know if they qualify for solar. They have nothing out of pocket. They don't pay for anything. They're basically reallocating their power bill into paying for their solar bill, which is substantially lower than what they're paying their power company. And again, they're locked in for the next 25 years. They're going to see the savings within year 7. They're going to see that, oh, wow, I'm so glad I went solar because now my power company is charging people $200, but I'm still paying 150. So stuff like that, it will make sense if they see the long-term savings. It's a simple switch to solar by signing the solar installation agreement. The financing is a personal loan and does not put a lien on homeowner's home. And it's easy to qualify. Again, 650 is like super common for people. A personal loan is a loan that builds credit, much like a mortgage. So once you get a personal loan through a finance company, it actually builds your credit. It's not a liability. It is not an expense. It is an asset and it's an investment to go solar. Okay. And then, we have some door script or cold call script. If you have a list of people to call, I just go through by Hey, good morning. My name is Dee from Smart Solar Advisors, and we're in the neighborhood talking to homeowners about locking a lower electric bill. Did you know that you have options to switch to a lower electric rate that is locked in? So that's basically my pitch. Like you can switch from higher rate to a lower rate. Which one do you want? Do you want to save money or do you want to spend money? So I want to save money. Okay, so yeah, we have the option for that. Here's the thing. I checked your neighborhood and some have already availed of this program. You can switch to solar for nothing out of pocket. Like, okay, so tell me more about it. And then you kind of get into the pitch. If they're interested, you'll know right away when you talk to them within the next 30 seconds. Then you ask them, how much do you usually pay for electric? Do you have a power bill with you? I can get a custom quote for you if you can get a copy of your power bill. So, first things first is always ask for the power bill, and then we can analyze it and we can see if we can save them money. Because if it's not going to save them money, the other option is just they just want to go solar to go green. And that's what happened to me and my clients in Washington. They just want to go solar to go green. I was saving them only 20 bucks a month, but they're still going solar. So, it's all about like how much do you want it and how well you understand it and how what is your motivation for going solar. And then after that, you lock the appointment and then I will always schedule no more than 72 hours from the day you spoke to the person because they might forget it. So, that's just how you would set an appointment with possible clients. And then so this was just if you're running YouTube ads, Facebook ads, don't worry about this. Um, if you're writing an ad, you have to call within 5 minutes. You have to call them 8 to 12 times. It's just it's numbers. I have assistants to call them because I don't have the time of day. But if you're doing it as a beginner, then I did call 8 to 12 times a day to get my lead to answer questions or to just have them pick up the phone. I'll call them from 6 different numbers so that they would know that it's not the same number. And then when they answer, like, hey, this is D. You filled out a form online about a solar inquiry. I'm here to talk to you about it. So, that's if you're running an ad. And then phone scripts, we have that as well. I can send you this. I don't have to go through all of this, but we have phone scripts that you could use. You can tweak it on how you can make it your own. And then let's see, and more phone scripts and stuff. But we always do a presentation either through Zoom or in home. Now in Seattle, I've noticed that people are so personable, they want you in their house. You could also close them through Zoom. I have a rep who's closing in Seattle and he's here in Vegas. So he's closing in Kent, Washington, Bothell. I don't know where that is, but um, he's doing it through phone, he's doing it through Zoom, and he's here in Vegas. So, it's all about how you explain it. And and then again it's all about how they understand it. Now for you guys, since you're starting out, you would want to do a mentorship for at least 2 deals as a team. So I'm going to say it's going to be John, or if you just want to set appointments, we can I can close it online and you guys can be there in home so that they know that there's a presence there. So, when you start, you always want to go with a mentor, and that would be me or this other guy that's already closing in Seattle. And then we can knock it down, and then it's just an easy process when you learn from the closers. And then after 2 or 3 deals, if you feel comfortable with how the paperwork is, how do you call this, is set, then definitely go for it because we're not going to hold you back because the money is in the close. Say, for example, I'm going to show you a proposal that is, so I don't like this offset because only 61% offset. So this is how proposal looks like. If this was in Seattle, you probably would have an average of about 8,999. So if I update that, all right, now I'm getting a 94% offset. So a proposal is going to look like this, right? So you're going to have how many panels are going to put in the home, and you're going to take into account the shading. There's a big tree right here. This picture is taken during fall. I'm pretty sure in the summer it's going to cover this whole area. And right here too, this is going to be a shadow that's going to cast on these panels right here. So I always want to make sure I talk to them like, okay, so your house looks like it has a lot of shading. Are you willing to trim your tree? And it's, oh, there is no, I'm gonna trim my tree. Is it like, okay, then I'm so sorry, I can't help you. I always ask those questions because if I don't, I don't feel like I'm doing them a good service. If I just push solar and the whole area is shaded with trees. So like this one is a 7 kilowatt system. The way it works is we can sell anywhere from 500 to $1,000 per kilowatt on a system. See for this one. So it's I sold this at $1,000 per kilowatt. I know I'm gonna get a $7,000 commission just on one system. If I sell I sell like maybe 3 a week. So if it's the same size in Washington, your average size is about 8 kilowatts. If you sell 3 in a week, that's $24,000. If it's just this size. If you sell one, that's still $7,000 a week, right? And if you sell one a month, that's still $7,000. That's how much I get paid as a teacher before, $7,000 a month. So I see the vision that if I fill my pipeline, even if I sell 3 a month, I'm gonna get my regular pay just selling solar. Um, just kind of like if you think about it, if I just have constant deal every month, it will replace my 9 to 5 job. So that's my short introduction to solar today. Any questions, guys?
Okay.
What's that?
I was asking Jason if he had any questions.
I had a question. For people that you've dealt with so far who also use natural gas, does it seem to be do they seem to save as much?
So if they're using natural gas, wait, so natural gas is not covered by electricity, right? So what's gonna happen is that if they want to use some of their equipment, not equipment, like appliances at home and port that over to electric, then that would be a better option. Because I was just there in a house where she's using oil, and she said she's paying so much for her oil that she wishes she would have gone solar, but she's a renter. So she says that if she could have just used space heater in the winter and some of her appliances could be ported over to like electric stove and all that, she would save so much money if she could go solar, but she can't because she doesn't own the house. But yeah, it does save the money if they could convert some of those appliances to like electric. So that's another thing that we could also take into account. If they're using natural gas, then they may have to convert some of their appliances to use electric.
That's actually kind of a good idea.
Yeah, because I know I use space heater. I don't use a lot of gas here in Vegas because we do get cold here. We go down to like 30, 30 degrees in the winter, but I don't use my heater a lot. I'll just put it in my room where I'm at, and then I'll just put a space heater. I'm not worried about my electricity because I'm producing a lot of solar, and I don't have to pay a lot of money in the winter because I'm not using my AC. AC is the most wasteful with electric, and I've noticed in Seattle you guys don't have a lot of ACs. John, does your house have AC?
No.
Wow. So how do you guys, well, how's your summer?
Not too bad. We have ceiling fans and stuff like that, but yeah, we're just kind of used to it. So we just run the ceiling fans and stuff. And the boys who live down in the basement area,
We go jump in a river.
they're probably about 10 degrees cooler than upstairs.
Wow. That's amazing. So what's the temperature? Like 60, 70, 80?
Today is 70.
Should be 73.
That's really, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's comfortable. But during the summer we get up anywhere to 80s, 90s, high 90s.
And I know your house is very big. What is your regular power bill?
About 200 for gas and electric.
Yeah, for what is your gas bill? I'm writing it down.
I'll have to look at
That's just a, the second page. We don't know right off the top of our head.
Yeah, like on average. What's your average?
For gas, it's for just the gas because we have to use the gas for heating and the stove. That part I'm not sure. I have to go check.
And we have our hot water tank on gas too.
Okay. Yeah, and but your power bill, do you know how much that's on average?
Just the whole power bill about 200 a month.
And how many square foot is your house?
How much what?
Square foot.
We're 2,300 square feet.
Oh yeah, that's about normal. Yeah, because mine is 3,000. I'm averaging about 350 a month. So yeah, now if you go solar, again, I know that you're renting, but if you go solar, that bill is not gonna be 200. It's gonna be about like maybe 120, 130, but you're locking it in. Right now it's 200, but if you do the escalators, because every year they're raising prices, and we don't know when they're gonna raise prices again. So, that's how you would pitch it. Like, right, yeah, okay, so your average right now is $200, but do you know what's gonna be next year? It'll be like what, 220, 250, and then it's just gonna keep going up. But if you go solar, I can lock you in right now at 130. Now, does that look better than 200? It's like, you know what? That looks better. Okay, there's no installation cost, nothing out of pocket. All you have to do is switch to clean energy and then get a tax credit. So you go down here and you say, okay, so it looks like you're gonna have a federal tax credit of $12,000 because of the whole package. So it's 30% of whatever you are quoted on. So the whole package is like $41,000. So buying solar is like buying a car. So $41,000 is the package price. Now 30% of that is $12,000, right? And then this particular was in Illinois. So they have another incentive, and they have a new customer incentive from their state. So when they go solar, they're being offered, okay, so since you are going solar, we're going to send you a check for $1,672. And then we're gonna have SREX, means renewable energy credit, and they're being given $8,000 just because they're going solar. And then the federal government offers them $12,000 because they've gone solar. So all of those incentives is just basically a push for people to go solar because of the fact that it's just the new thing right now. For the next 10 years, they've kept the tax credit. Now they would have stopped the tax credit this year because it's 2022. It was 26%, and then Biden extended it all the way to 2032 because there's a treaty amongst nations that by 2050 we should be at net zero carbon emissions, and America's goal is about 50% less pollution by 2030. And that's why they're pushing all of this, because they have to abide by that treaty. And we're one of the biggest pollutants in the whole entire world, versus China, then us, then then Europe and all that. But we are one of the biggest pollutants. So this tax credits right here and the government incentives and the state incentives, it's a push for people to go solar. It's government backed. So you could tell that there is a big push for solar for the next 10 years. So if you capitalize on it, if you get into this multi-million dollar industry right now, then you're positioned better than in the future. Because like I said, there's not very many reps right now in Washington. There's not a lot of power solar companies that are doing the push for solar, but you could be the one of the first few people before it gets saturated. Now, like, I'm going to show you like a simple structure on how a team made money, right? So this right here, for example, if you have a team and then you brought in people, like see John, you already have a team, your nephews is your team, and there's 5 of them. If each of them produces a deal, you get $100 per kilowatt on their deals. And the average kilowatt in Washington is basically 8 kilowatt. So 8 kilowatt, and let's just say you have 15 people under your team, because I did that for 15 people as a team, right? So if there's 15 people and they're selling one, you have an average of $800 per each person times 15 reps, and that would be $12,000 override just on your team. You don't have to sell anything. You have an override on the people that produced under you because there's 15 of them. And then we'll say in a good month, if each rep under you produces 3, then you have 800 times 15 times 3 sales. That's $36,000 override on them, just because you built a team of 15 people and each of them produced 3 deals. Now, add your own personal commissions or your own deals, then your average is about, let's say, $10,000 per deal. So that's $30,000. your potential income is $90,000. Now, I'm not saying it's your income, I'm saying it's potential. If you do 3 deals on your own and your team produce 3 deals on their own. So, but again, if you produce one, it's not a big deal. It's $12,000 on each, and then you've got $10,000, still $22,000 a month, just for your own personal deals and the team under you. So that's how the team building works when it comes to like selling solar, especially there in Washington, when there's not very many people doing it yet. So now, questions.
None so far.
Okay. So how can I help support you?
When we get moved to our new property, up in Edmonds,
Oh yeah,
Um,
the big one.
yeah, we're gonna end up closing down Puyallup. But, we're gonna move up to Edmonds and start up there. As soon as we get started up there, I'll have a couple of seats for phone calls,
Wow.
phone callers and that. And then we'll get growing fast, but we can start calling from because I have the voice over internet phones, and we can bring a few home or whatever and
So
use them.
like honestly, I only spend an hour to 2 hours on the phone because I was a teacher, right? So I don't spend a lot of time. So I only work 1 to 2 hours. Now, if that 1 to 2 hours that you have, you get one lead, that's $7,000, $6,000 that I didn't have before. So, and I only work like 1 to 2 hours a day, right? So it's kind of like, don't make it a full-time gig until you're sure about transitioning. So, keep your day job and everything, spend 1 hour a day just prospecting. That's all it is. Like you just prospect, you network, you talk to people, you're all about it. And then once you're onboarded, you say, I'm a solar advisor, I'm a solar rep. And then I'm gonna send out it's a very easy kind of like a self-test. Like, am I aware of this? I mean, you can take the test as many times as you want, and then you get a certificate saying, okay, I have been onboarded and I'm a solar advisor now. I'm a solar advocate and I can sell solar to people I meet. So that's something that, next week I'm gonna send that out to John. And then John, if you want to send it out to anybody then because I have to program the LMS to give a test. Because before we have a platform, it's called Smart Solar Academy, and there's 65 lessons. It's so long, but I've compressed it so your learning hours practically only like maybe 1 hour. You go through the whole entire thing, and then after that, you take the test and then you pass it. You could consider yourself, educated in solar, and you can pitch solar to people you know. And then,
Right.
yeah, and then John, the other John, we talked about how we can maximize the calling. So we'll be supplying leads, people that have closed within the last 6 months in Washington, in your area. If you can send me zip codes that are good, like if you know a particular area where it's not heavily shaded yet, and it's close to where you're at, and you can drive there within the next like 30 minutes. I I don't know. It's just me. Like I don't like driving more than 30 minutes to go to an appointment because I'm scared of the highway. But if it's anything over 30 minutes, I would have to do a Zoom presentation. But if it's within 30 minutes of my time, I can go ahead and just drive there and try to close a deal myself. So, it was just a rule of thumb for me, just because I don't drive the highway. But if you're not scared of the highway, like I've known reps that would drive 3 hours to go to a deal. And like, okay, wow, that's insane. And sometimes they go in there and then, the wife set the appointment and the husband says, why are you here? And then you said, well, yeah, you have an appointment. I said, no, go away. And then they start pulling their guns. And I've had reps happen in Kansas that way. Like they would literally drive to an appointment and the husband pulled out a gun because they said, no, I didn't allow this appointment. So that's why I always double confirm my appointment. Like, okay, is the husband and wife, are you guys both going to be there? Because I'm not going to waste my time driving 3 hours if one person is not sold on the appointment, right? Because it's just a waste of time. So, when you set an appointment, make sure that they're both sold on it. Husband and wife, husband and husband, it doesn't matter who it is. It's sometimes it's daughter and son, or the decision makers have to be there so that we're not repeating our presentation to different members of the family. Because if you have to, I gotta talk to my wife about it. She owns the house. Like, why did you tell me this? So this is why you ask, do you own the house? Are you the homeowner? Said, no, my daughter owns the house, but I have the power bill. Stuff like that. Those are things that you would learn once you go through deeper training. So you ask, who's the homeowner? Then that way you can get out of the way, that the decision maker has to be the homeowner, or the power bill holder. So yeah, those are just tricks I've learned, that don't go to an appointment if it's a one-legger, because you would waste your time just going there and not closing the deal. Anything else, John? Jason?
No?
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, the only thing that I would ask from you guys, is if John can send me all your guys' email so I can invite you to the training platform, and then I'll go ahead and send that all to you by Monday, because I'm going to the park after this, and then after that, just take the test. You can take it as many times as you can. There's actually hints of what the answers would be, and then once you pass that, you'll get your certificate that you are onboarded as a solar advisor.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Any questions before we part ways?
Nope, that's all good.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks, Chris. Nice to meet you all. I know I'll memorize your names once I oh, and then once you pass the test, I will actually ask for your photos so I can send you guys your badges. So, and
Nice.
gears and hats and all that stuff. But I'm gonna send it to John himself, because you see, yeah, I'll send everything to you guys. Oh, doke.
Well, we all live in the same house, so it works.
Okay, sounds good. So it's perfect. There's no like section A, section B, section C. That's what
Yeah.
yeah, like top floor, bottom floor, third floor, So
Oh,
yeah, I'll send
section
it to
dungeon.
you. Alrighty. So yeah, I'll send all the links to you. If John can send me all your names and then your email, including phone numbers, because that's how I would need to onboard you. So again, name, email, and phone number. And then
Can
after
do that.
that, yeah, and then after that, I'll send you guys the LMS, the learning platform, and then pass the test.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you again, and that was it, right? Anything else?
Yep. That's it.
Awesome. All right, thank you, and have a good rest of your afternoon. We're in the same time zone.
Yeah.
right.
Have fun at the park.
I
you.
know it's hot, 90 degrees. So
Oh, crazy.
I know. Bye, guys.
Right.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right.